Welcome to Transmissions Alt Mode, where we look at the latest comics and other media featuring the Transformers. In this episode, Duke and Cobra Commander are in big trouble as the Dreadnok War continues in our review of Skybound's G.I. Joe number 15. Today is Friday, December 5th, 2025, and this is episode 471 of Transmissions Alt Mode.
Welcome to Transmissions Alt Mode, the podcast that knows real men only drink grape soda. I'm your host Charles, aka Big C, and I'm joined by the excellent Transmissions team. Jeremy, aka Yakko.
Hey, how's it going?
Scott, the illustrious Dr. Pants.
I'm sorry. Pineapple soda is where it's at. I'm not drinking grape. Hello, everyone.
And Daryl, the Cybertronian Beast.
Pineapple. The hell?
I could get behind that.
Pineapple soda is delicious.
You guys got some weird shit. Diet Coke, man. They're great. Let's talk Transformers.
As always, we start off the show by thanking our Donatrons, those lovely people who support us on Patreon and PayPal. Thank you all so much for continuing to contribute and support this show. We really appreciate it. If you're not a Donatron and would like to sign up, just go to transmissionspodcast.com/support. That gives you access to all the contests we run. You get to watch the show live when we recorded it. And you can also get some bonus content like the bonus uncut version of our Transformers Live Play RPG podcast, Empire of Rust. And this week we had episode 150, Faith.exe has stopped responding. So that is available right now for all our Donatrons. You can get the bonus uncut version with all the extra stuff that is cut out of the regular edit of the episode. And that regular edit will be out next Monday, December 8th. So you can get that at transmissionspodcast.com/rust. But if you're a Donatron, you've already had access to it for a week. We've also got our Toy Hacks December promo code. So you can use that code BELLBOTS for all your purchases at toyhacks.com and get 15% off everything at toyhacks.com. That works throughout the month of December. Use it as many times as you like. And, take advantage of that for your Christmas shopping. If you have any Toy Hacks stickers, Christmas shopping needs, labels needs, use that code and get your 15% off at toyhacks.com. All right, let's get into the show. We're going to kick it off with our review. So we are doing a full spoiler review of the next chapter of the Dreadnok War in G.I. Joe number 15. This is Dreadnok War part 3 of 5. And, we've got so many G.I. Joe comics coming out. They're double shipping twice a month. So we've got a lot of G.I. Joe content to get through. I know Daryl in particular is excited about that. So let's get into it. As always, this is a spoiler-filled comic review. So if you haven't read the comic yet, just be aware of that. If you don't care, it's fine. We'll give you a summary of the issue. But if you'd like to read it first, you can stop the podcast and then go read it, then come back and listen to what we think about it. So, G.I. Joe number 15. This is the Dreadnok War part 3 of 5. Writer Joshua Williamson, artist Tom Riley, colorist Jordi Belair, letterer Russ Wooten, editor Ben Abernathy, publication design Andres Suarez, and production Richard Mercado. So, continuing from last issue, Duke prepares for a fight with this new antagonist in a warthog costume. He dodges Road Pig's cinderblock hammer swing and delivers a counterpunch straight to his gut. But Road Pig just shrugs it off and uses Duke's confusion to slam him to the ground with his hammer. Road Pig chains him up and brings him to the attic to hang on another hook right next to an unmasked Cobra Commander. But Road Pig is not done since there are more intruders coming that he has to deal with, the Dreadnoks. Ripper and Buzzer are on the trail of Duke and Cobra Commander, and they approach Road Pig's house. Buzzer comments how much he missed Ripper and is glad to have him back. Ripper is happy as well and compliments Buzzer's new chainsaw hand. Buzzer agrees it's cool, but mentions how he has to remember to be careful after an unfortunate high-five incident with departed Dreadnok Thrasher. Finally, they get to Road Pig's compound, and it's being guarded by a bulldog. Ripper tries to calm it down, but Road Pig takes that moment to launch his hammer attack. He almost smashes Ripper's face in, but Buzzer blocks the hammer with his chainsaw, damaging the cinder block head of the hammer. Road Pig knocks Buzzer back and is annoyed that he damaged his hammer. So he goes to get his nice metal one with spikes that he affectionately calls Mom. Road Pig and the surprisingly unarmed Dreadnoks square off for another clash. Then we cut to somewhere in the ocean. A G.I. Joe helicopter lands on an unmarked military vessel. Colonel Hawk has arrived for a meeting arranged by weapons dealer Astoria Carlton Ritz. She invited him with the promise of intel on Cobra, but she didn't tell the whole story. She's actually brokering a meeting with the new head of Cobra, Destro. Hawk thinks he's been betrayed and immediately draws his weapon, but Destro tells him that he's not here to fight, but to negotiate. He wants to supply weapons to help in the struggle against the giant robots invading Earth. And to sweeten the deal, he's got info from Mercer on a secret that the Joe team has about the robots. Back in Road Pig's attic, Cobra Commander takes the moment to ask Duke why he saved him in the first place. Duke answers that he needs information about the giant robots, and he thinks Cobra Commander has it. Cobra Commander replies that he may not like the answers, and Duke says, let's get started and find out. He asks point blank if Cobra Commander is human, and the commander answers cryptically that he doesn't want to be. He admires the strength and invulnerability of the robots' bodies compared to the weakness of human flesh. Duke replies that he doesn't want to be a robot, and Cobra Commander calls him a fool. Then Duke asks why the Dreadnoks are trying to kill him. Cobra Commander is vague again, but Duke easily deduces that the Dreadnoks originally had the source of energon for Cobra's weapons, and Cobra Commander stole it from them. Duke and Cobra Commander continue to trade barbs until they hear laughter from below. Road Pig, Ripper, and Buzzer appear all laughing together, appearing to have settled their differences. They bonded over a shared love of grape soda, and Ripper fell in love with Road Pig's bulldog, Raucous. So they're all friends now. Road Pig even takes off his mask, revealing a rather ordinary-looking doofus. Duke asks what they're going to do with them, and Ripper answers they're going to wait for the rest of the Dreadnoks and take care of both Duke and the Commander. Buzzer in particular is ready to exact revenge on Cobra Commander for the injuries he suffered at the hands of Nemesis Enforcer. With Cobra Commander's helmet off, Buzzer comes in for a closer look at his grotesque face. Big mistake. Cobra Commander immediately bites down hard on Buzzer's neck, grievously wounding him. Road Pig pulls Buzzer away and punches Cobra Commander hard. Buzzer is wounded but still alive. Ripper tells Road Pig to take the two prisoners outside as he throws a can of grape soda at Duke's head in frustration. Road Pig drags both prisoners outside and throws them on the ground, just as the rest of the Dreadnoks, led by Zarana and Xandar, show up. Duke threatens that if they kill them, G.I. Joe will take the Dreadnoks down, but of course it's an empty threat to the Dreadnoks. Ripper puts Cobra Commander's helmet back on since he's tired of seeing his disgusting face, and Zarana asks if they're ready to start the party. Back at the pit, Clutch is worried that Duke hasn't checked in, but Baroness, Stalker, and Risk are still in Chicago and can't get down south quickly. So it's up to Clutch and CoverGirl to go in and track down Duke now. And Clutch also has some additional backup who can help them. To be continued. So, the Dreadnok War continues to heat up. This is a little bit of a weird kind of like Deliverance-esque or like House in the Woods departure here. We've gone to this like secluded area where we've got this crazy guy in a shack. But yeah, I mean, I heard you guys review last week. I also had no context with Road Pig. I did not know that there was another Dreadnok that was, I guess, prominent in the comics but never showed up in the TV show. This was a more like a horror movie issue. And I did like some of the like the other side stories with Hawk meeting with Destro, and of course we know that Astoria Carlton Ritz is also Chameleon in disguise. So that was interesting that she's kind of trying to get Cobra to turn legit and become like a more of a traditional arms supplier that can then rejoin the rest of the world, no longer be some kind of crazy terrorist organization. So that's Destro's play for while Cobra Commander is out of commission, and I think he hopes Cobra Commander will be out of commission for good, but that probably won't happen. And then we also have the fact that Mercer saw Hound with Clutch, so that's another bargaining chip that they're probably going to tell Hawk that Clutch is harboring a Cybertronian in their midst, so that'll be an interesting development. And then we also saw that at the end with Clutch hinting that they had another friend that they were going to use to track down Duke, and I am assuming that's also Hound. That Hound will help them out and try to find Duke. So we got hints of a Transformer. No Transformers in the comic actually, but hints that one will be joining the fray soon. So Hound is still hanging out at the pit. So hopefully that he gets in on the action with the Dreadnok War. Also, I know you guys discussed this last week about why it's called the Dreadnok War, and I kind of agree with you. I think it's kind of a misnomer. I mean, the Dreadnoks are basically hunting down Duke and Cobra Commander. I mean, I wouldn't call that a war. Maybe we could call it the Dreadnok Hunt. I don't know. But it's like if a war is really like implies that there's two big forces coming at each other. It's more just the Dreadnoks trying to chase Duke and Cobra Commander. So, not really a war, but whatever. But overall, I mean, this I like this storyline. This is fun for me that the Dreadnok showing the Dreadnoks as such a kind of menacing force, and Duke and Cobra Commander being enemies that have to work together. And then in this issue, we actually got a glimpse of Cobra Commander's disfigured face, and he's got the eye, the serpent eye that's like off on the top of his forehead before when he was mutilated and like healed in Cobra Law. So that's interesting that they showed a little bit more of that. And I wonder if Buzzer's going to be okay. We got like maybe does Cobra Commander actually have venom in like his body that he can inject in people when he bites them? So I don't know if Buzzer will survive getting bitten, especially on the neck there. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. But it's all I got for this issue. So, Dr. Pants, what did you think?
This whole thing's been so much fun. I mean, I was here with you guys when you read the first issue. I did not review the second issue with you all, but I've read through it. It is so much fun. I kind of agree with you, Charles, that like I don't know why it's called the Dreadnok War, unless of course, now that we're over halfway through, we'll actually get the payoff at the end here when the Joes show up with Hound and like there's a big standoff between them and the Dreadnoks. But the big thing I've enjoyed most is the kind of way that Duke and Cobra Commander are playing off each other. I think it's been really, really well done. Because they're not just antagonistic towards each other. There is kind of a weird respect thing going on. And the scene in this issue where Duke is asking him questions and Cobra Commander's answering them. He is being cryptic, but he's answering them as best he can. Like there's something there, and I like it. I really like the artwork. There is kind of a horror motif going on throughout this whole issue because of what started in the beginning or the end of last issue with this kind of like, it is kind of a deliverance kind of thing. But I'm curious to see how this is all going to pay off. I like that they also mentioned, hey, the rest of the Joes are inspecting those giant robots and what happened in Chicago. Is that what they said? They were going to Chicago specifically. So it's good that they're referencing that. Things are happening in the world. We're understanding that. And I'm curious to see what's going on with Destro and the whole Cobra thing there. But there were two things I had to look up because I was curious. Number one, why are the Dreadnoks always obsessed with grape soda? Did not understand this, had to look it up, and the first paragraph in the wiki said that the Dreadnok's diet is almost nothing but chocolate donuts and grape soda. Okay, it's just been a thing through all of G.I. Joe. Good to know it's still well and alive here. The other thing is I had to look up Road Pig because his introduction and his name looked an awful lot like an Overwatch character named Roadhog. And I'm like, this... Is he a character from before in G.I. Joe? And I looked it up. He is, but he didn't look like that. His current design looks very similar to Roadhog from Overwatch, and I'm wondering if whoever did the more modern design kind of took cues from that. It's not the exact same, but it is kind of, overweight but kind of burly character in a leather kind of clad outfit with like a pig-style mask. And he's a bruiser. Like, it seemed a little similar, especially given the names and whatnot. So
yeah, they do have a classified figure that looks like the comic version.
Yeah,
they put out.
And I do believe that Hasbro did the Overwatch figures that came out a couple years ago. So I'm wondering if whoever the designer was the same person, or they just took design cues from that. I'm not sure, but. It is cool that they gave him the cinder block hammer, though, that the original figure had. That was very, very cool. I don't really have much more to say. I'm very excited with this, and I've never been a big G.I. Joe fan. I say this every time we review it, but I'm really enjoying this. I think they do some really good character work, and the action is great, and it is kind of visceral. Love the shot of just Cobra Commander biting into Ripper's neck and just taking a chunk out. That's good. That's good. Mm-hmm. But I'm curious to see how this ends up.
Yeah, I mean the one nitpick I also had is if Buzzer and Ripper are tracking the Cobra Commander and Duke, why don't they have guns? They just strolled in with nothing, no firearms, nothing.
Chainsaw hand. That's something.
But that's a close combat weapon. I mean, if you have a gun. You can if you see Duke and Cobra Commander, you just raise your gun and either shoot them or say, "Hey, stop," or "I'll shoot you." I don't have to get up close and get you with my chainsaw.
The Dreadnoks don't necessarily seem like the most intelligent, organized group of people out there. It seems way more chaotic than anything.
Yeah, but they did have guns. I mean, when they were doing the road chase, they did have guns and they were shooting at them. So, I mean, anyway, I don't know. It's a nitpick.
Yeah.
Daryl, what did you think of this issue?
I liked the fact that we got to see in shadow Cobra Commander's face. I mean, I don't know if that's ever been done in. I know it was never done in the cartoon, but maybe some of the other comics did it at some point, but I never read them.
Technically, it is in the cartoon. If you count the crossover episode with the TV show Community,
I don't.
Because they have Cobra Commander in there, and he does actually, you get to see what his face looks like under the mask, and it's like a horrifying snake monster thing.
I thought you were talking about the animated movie.
Yeah, didn't in G.I. Joe the movie
devolves.
they had like a flashback of when he destroyed his face.
Oh yeah.
I don't count that either though. But I appreciate the fact that they showed it here and that it's absolutely disfigured. That's what I would expect it to be. If he's got this serpent eye up on his forehead, can he see with that with the mask? We're looking at the mask right now, and I don't know whether that eye lines up with the mask. So just maybe a little nitpick here.
Maybe the gray part on top is a one-way You can see out.
I don't know. I mean, it's a disgusting face, but yeah, I'm not so sure you can see out of it. Anyway, I
Maybe
do
his
like
regular
how
eyes are still there, and he can still use those.
maybe, but I do like how excuse me. I do like how Road Pig is just a numbskull. Like he's just there to swing hammers and, you know, drink grape soda. So, yeah. But I did like that. The rest of it seemed kind of ridiculous. I don't get that Destro would ever go to G.I. Joe and try and partner with them. That doesn't seem like a Destro move. Or maybe it's the ultimate Destro move. I don't know. I'm not a G.I. Joe guy. But, yeah, I mean, whatever. It was a fine book. It wasn't, I wasn't excited at any point, unless, like, you count the fact that I was really hoping to like see Cobra Commander's face in light. So, you know, that was the most exciting part of the book for me.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I would expect Destro to do something like this because Destro originally, like when we started the Energon universe, he basically owned a weapons corporation, and they operated on U.S. soil. He supplies the military with, like, Mars Industries supplies the military. He also just supplies the black market as well. So he's like, I'm willing
He
to
sold
sell
to everybody.
weapons to anyone. He'll sell to
Right.
the highest bidder. He'll sell to the U.S. military. He'll sell anywhere. So, like, if he can like, make money on selling weapons, I think he sees that as a much more viable like long-term strategy than having a terrorist operation that will somehow take over the world somehow. So maybe he's just like, I don't need to take over the world. I'll just supply all the weapons and, get all
Essentially, that is taking over the world.
yeah, so I think that's his thought is like Cobra Commander is just kind of a wacko. I'll just, turn this organization to a profit for me. So Jeremy, what did you think?
I enjoyed it as well. I'm not a big horror guy, so I don't know. The Road Pig stuff I appreciated, but I didn't really, it wasn't as enjoyable as some of the other parts of the book. But I love the character work that with Duke and Cobra Commander, and like Cobra Commander not knowing why Duke saved him, and their discussions and stuff. But what I really liked was the stuff with General Hawk and Destro and what's her name? Astoria Carlton Ritz. I feel like there is the spy games being played here kind of really are some of the stuff that I enjoy reading. And Destro has a play that he's making, and Hawk has, he has reasons for being there because he was about to go to Washington to meet with Flag to talk about rumors with changes, like some changes in leadership with Cobra and stuff. So he's here to try to get firsthand knowledge of what's going on. Although he didn't know he was meeting with Destro at the time. He just thought she had information about Cobra. And he obviously, like, Mercer knows about Hound. So there's lots of like secrets that everyone has that I'm enjoying. Although I think when Clutch was saying he has a friend, I don't know if he was referencing Hound. I think he might have been referencing Matt Tracker.
Oh,
because
okay.
we mentioned, we saw him at the Free Comic Book Day issue. He knows about Hound. We've got in the Transformers book, Miles Mayhem has come into play. So I think I'm sure that Clutch is going to be taking Hound out there. I don't know if he's wanting to reveal Hound unless it's absolutely necessary. But Matt Tracker might be a friend that would be helping. And I think issue 19 has a Matt Tracker cover. So I'm thinking he's going to be coming into play sooner rather than later. And looking forward to seeing that. And I just love like all the different pieces on the chessboard are finally moving and doing stuff. And I'm enjoying that more than just the Dreadnok part of this Dreadnok War storyline. I'm hoping that we finally will get the Duke Optimus Prime, meet up once, Hound is revealed and everything. And obviously, I don't know if Hawk knows, but Flag knows that there are differences between the factions of the Cybertronians.
Yep.
So it's just we have people operating without the knowledge and people operating with the knowledge, and they're all holding secrets and stuff. And that's the type of like spy stuff that I like to read. So this is enjoyable on that aspect. And then also I thought the art was really good. I like the art and the coloring. It just, each of the scenes had their own distinct feeling. The Road Pig stuff was very kind of creepy feeling. And then the others were more normal color, but dark, or I don't know. I really enjoyed the coloring and the art. I thought it was all done really well.
Cool. Yeah, I agree. I really enjoyed the art for this issue as well. Yeah, I mean, I think that I'm still kind of frustrated with the whole, like, the G.I. Joe folks not knowing what's going on in the rest of the world. I mean, like, I think at this point, like, with what happened in Chicago, like, everyone should know that the Autobots stopped the Decepticons from destroying Chicago. I mean, we have the aftermath where the Autobots are helping clean up the city. Yeah. And the people are there like just hanging out with them. So they know that the Autobots are the good guys. They help. I mean, General Flag has already said, hey, we'll make an alliance. And the Decepticons
but we don't know
are the
how
bad
much
guys.
of the world outside of Chicago knows that. Like,
I mean, I assume like news media have reported what's going on. Like they've reported on the cleanup efforts. Or
if it's a war zone, the government might be, not allowing them to report.
That's true.
I mean, we don't know how the government works in this, in this universe, but
yeah, that's true. I mean, if the assumption is that they have things like the internet and social media, I think it would be really difficult to contain that information. But I mean, we don't know. But it still seems weird that at the very minimum, like Hawk, I mean, if Flag is informing his subordinates, I mean, I would assume Flag would like not keep this information from Hawk, for example. But I mean,
you would hope.
So I don't know. But yeah, it's still weird that how in the dark the G.I. Joe folks are about what's going on with the Transformers. So, but yeah, I mean, they keep promising that they're gonna address that. So hopefully, in a few more issues, we'll actually see what's going on there.
At least they're closer to the time that the Transformer books are taking place. So
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, that is our review of G.I. Joe number 15. So let's move on to some media news.
Oh, boy. We are in for a treat. First of all, Dr. Pants, have you been watching Cyberworld?
Not even a little bit. I should.
Oh, my goodness. This is insane. you need to start watching Cyberworld. You have a lot to catch up on. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, but there are currently 17 episodes to catch up on. There's a little bit of a silver lining. The newest episodes, 16 and 17, it's a double episode, so it's together. Yeah, so you can watch them in one shot. And the other piece of the silver lining is that there is a YouTube account it's the official Transformers YouTube account, so you should be familiar with it. But they have a nice a curated list showing all of the episodes in order that you could just watch, and it's really well done, and it's incredible how well this show is done. You really will enjoy it. It's amazing. Probably the best Transformers show ever.
Okay, you know what? I was believing you. I was believing I should watch this up until probably the last 30 seconds of that. I'm still going to watch it now, though. I want to know.
You should watch it. Yeah, you should watch it. Yeah, it's incredible. It really is. It's like a video game, and it's Transformers, and the animation's animated. So it's good.
Great.
Daryl just broke the sarcasm meter of everyone listening and watching to this podcast.
I mean, any honest opinions on Cyberworld from this group here? Anybody watch any of it?
We did a review of like the first 8 episodes like a couple of months ago. It's fine. It's a mediocre kids show. It's like the premise is they have been the Autobots and Decepticons have somehow been transported into an MMO, and they have to compete in MMO challenges to get rewards and then use that as advantages to fight each other. And I mean, okay,
all right, great.
The voice acting is pretty good. They have like 4 actors who do like all the voices, so that's actually they actually do a really good job of differentiating all the Autobots and Decepticons. So that was impressive. The animation is it's reasonable for like a modern animation. It looks pretty good. The episodes are short. They're like 5 minutes a piece, I think, 5 or 10 minutes. So
Okay. All right.
Whatever.
Maybe I'll watch it. Yeah, maybe I'll watch it. Who knows? We'll see.
All right. That's the media news. So let's finish up the show with some convention news.
All right. Well, we have a lot of TFCon LA announcements. So we are starting with Livio Ramondelli, who's a comic artist for a bunch of stuff with IDW, particularly like the Monstrosity, Primacy, or was it?
Autocracy.
Autocracy trilogy. He's done many other stuff. And then next, we have Alex Milne, who's no stranger to the show. Daryl is his personal driver.
Yep.
But he did work on More Than Meets the Eye, Transformers vs. ROM, which is underrated, Unicron miniseries, and Transformers vs. Terminator, and a bunch of other stuff. We're going to be talking later about something in convention news that he worked on. Next up, we have EJ Sue, who's done a lot of work with early IDW stuff like Infiltration, Escalation, Devastation, Revelation. He does some stuff with Image. He did the cover that we commissioned for the Skybound series for the Transformers #1. And he does a bunch of covers as well. You can see on the screen here what one of the ones he did. He does the like, blueprint covers and stuff because he's got an engineering background. And then on the voice actor side, we have Venice Turzo, who was a Black Arachne in Beast Wars and Beast Machines. They're celebrating 30th anniversary of Beast Wars, so we're going to have lots of Beast Wars actors. So awesome that she's going to be there. And then we have Alec Willows, who's the voice of Trantilus. And then Colin Murdoch, the voice of Quick Strike. And I think that's all the TFCon LA announcements we have right now. So lots of Beast Wars actors right now. And then moving on to TF Nation 2026. They've announced Scott Brownlee is going to be there. He was the sound engineer on Transformers the movie, the G1 series, G.I. Joe, The Tick, Jim and the Holograms, Bigfoot and the Muscle Machines, My Little Pony, Inhumanoids, The Little Mermaid TV series, Muppet Babies, and Rude Dog and the Dweebs, among other things. So they particularly call out in this about, Soundwave's distinctive voice and stuff. And he's the one that created that, effect on Frank Welker's voice to make it sound so cool. So, be interesting to hear his stories and stuff. I'm not sure if I've seen many conventions have him as a guest. So, and then TF Nation also revealed, and they released this to everybody. This was revealed at their MiniCon Reading that they did. The Dreamwave Energon series had issues 31 and 32 pretty much completed, but Dreamwave kind of went before they were released, and they never came out. Alex Milne was the artist, and Simon Furman was the writer, and the TF Nation team worked with them and were able to recreate both issues, in their entirety, and they have released them as PDFs because, Dreamwave, they're not going to complain because they don't exist. But you can go to the link we have here, and you can download both of them. I have their PDF files, so I have 31 up here, and it's just really cool. It's even got some of the ads. But if you were into the Dreamwave series and you wanted to see, the last two issues that were completed, be sure to check that out. It's very cool. Maybe we'll do a review of these someday when we, if we ever go back to looking at Dreamwave books. But I did not read any of the Armada or Energon series at the time. No, Dr. Pants and Charles, but you both said you did, but it was 25 years ago or whenever. But
yeah.
So you have any thoughts on this before we go?
It's great to see that they brought these two issues back. Unfortunately, it doesn't end the series. It's just the last two issues we would have gotten, because I believe issue 32 was actually a part 1. I think it's like Armageddon Part 1 or something.
Oh, and it's not even colored. It's just the lines.
Right. But it's nice to see that there is like a tiny bit of, I'm not going to say closure, but at least like for anybody who was reading the series and knew, 31 and 32, like we may have seen solicitations or something, or they knew they were coming. Like now you at least get the chance to experience those last two issues that you should have gotten before Dreamwave kicked the bucket. So it's very exciting. Honestly, this makes me want to go back. Like I want to go back and reread the Armada and Energon series, because like this is Energon 31, 32, but technically Energon started with issue 19. Right. Because the Armada series just went into Energon. But like I kind of want to read through that whole series again, because I think I'd appreciate it more now than I would back then. Yeah,
I'm going to try to go and find the issues somewhere and read them. One thing that's neat about this, particularly like 32, it says letters done by Andrew Turnbull. So I guess Alex had the original art, and Simon had the script, So the Andrew Turnbull works with TF Nation. He's in the UK Transformers fandom. So, I guess, he did the lettering now. It wasn't like 31 had like the credits were the original team from Dreamwave, and 32 looks like it was a full, just kind of what we could piece together from the original materials. So it's really cool. It's definitely a labor of love.
I wouldn't be surprised if we saw more issues in the future. Simon has the scripts and Alex is still around, so
yeah.
Okay. That'd be cool. I'd like to see a conclusion to the series if possible.
If Hasbro really wants to do a unique HasLab, they should work with Skybound and do a HasLab that completes this. And then have like some unique Energon character figure to go along with it.
Fair enough.
But that's just me.
No, I'd be down for that 100%. I was crying out during the last toy show about how I want more Energon figures, so you can't ignore it forever, Hasbro. Give us an Energon Mirage. Redo that figure.
All right. Well, that's all for convention news, and we don't have any feedback this week, so I think that takes us to the end of this episode of Transmissions Alt Mode. Of course, at the end of every episode, we give a shout out to our Masterpiece donatrons. These are the folks who continue to support the podcast at our highest level on Patreon, and that's why they get a mention in every episode. So thank you once again to John 4X11 Good and Steve C. You guys are awesome. And Dr. Pants, thank you again for joining us this week. And why don't you tell everyone where they can find your stuff online?
Thank you so much for having me, guys. I always appreciate it. And if you're watching this, you can find me at the link right below my name there. And if you're listening to this, it should be in the show notes. You can find me and my friends at nerdstradamus.com doing our thing. We've been posting videos again lately. We've been streaming. And there's shorts and everything. So please, go check us out. Give us those hype points. Is that still a thing?
Yeah.
Hype points or thing? Okay, cool.
YouTube is, like, I saw something recently YouTube posted about it. So, yeah.
Yeah. Please, give us the hype points. Please watch our stuff. We appreciate it.
All right. Well, we appreciate everyone for watching and listening. So we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
See ya.
later.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Transmissions. If you'd like to join the conversation, travel to our Discord channel at transmissionspodcast.com/Discord. Want some cool transmission swag? Feast your eyes on our transmissions gear at transmissionspodcast.com/shop. If you'd like to support our podcast, go to transmissionspodcast.com/support or tell your friends about our show. We'll see you next time.